Tennessee Titans practice on Saturday was all about revenge. On defense, Kristian Fulton locks down, and on offense, Malik Willis bounces back. I'm going to break it all down for you on today's edition of the Locked On Titans podcast. Let's get it.
You are Locked On Titans, your daily Tennessee Titans podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the Locked On Titans podcast. I am your host, Tyler Rowland. Titans fans, it's time for another bonus weekend edition of the Locked On Titans podcast. The Tennessee Titans had practice on Saturday, and it was all about revenge. I'm going to break down what happened and what you need to know before I get into it. Do want to thank you guys for making the Locked On Titans podcast your first to listen each and every day, Monday through Friday, Tennessee Titans content. Heck, I'm giving you content both days of the weekend now as well. Make sure that you get subscribed, stay subscribed here on the Locked On Titans podcast. It's your team every day. The show is on all apps all year long, always for free. Throw a thumbs up on the video if you're watching right now as well. Your support really helps out the channel, and I really do appreciate it. But with that being said, let's dive into Saturday's practice because, like I said, it was all about revenge. And we got to start with Kristian Fulton, who has had an excellent start to Tennessee Titans training camp so far. Mike Vrabel has raved about the shape that Kristian Fulton is in. He talked about it on Friday after practice that Kristian Fulton was in a good place, came in ready to go, really hammered the conditioning test that the Titans make all their players do. So Fulton is just in a good spot, and Mike Vrabel continued that praise for Fulton on Saturday. Mike Vrabel even joked that the head coach may have a little bit of a problem that Kristian Fulton doesn't have, and Kristian Fulton's problem is trying to keep weight on. So I thought it was funny that Vrabel joked about that, but Vrabel said that we monitor that, talking about Kristian Fulton's weight, making sure on these hot days that they're eating, and all the strength and conditioning staff and everybody's on top of it. He said that's part of Kristian, just his overall strength and size, that he can be at 195 pounds and still be athletic and still be able to run and transition. So far, so good. So Mike Vrabel is really happy with the shape that Kristian Fulton is in. And like I said, it was about revenge at practice on Saturday. So we know that yesterday's practice on Friday, DeAndre Hopkins had the nasty one-handed catch over top of Kristian Fulton. That was the big highlight of the day. But Fulton got some get back on Hopkins today during a rep and team period. Fulton was able to have tight coverage on Hopkins, force an incompletion. Also later on a deep pass down the field, Nick Westbrook-Ikhine was going for the ball. Kristian Fulton was able to have tight coverage and turn that into an incompletion. And the very next play, Kristian Fulton came back and broke up a pass against Kyle Phillips as well. So Fulton has really shined so far in Titans training camp. He's obviously in great shape, and it's crazy because Mike Vrabel even talked about Fulton being a little lackadaisical at times. And I thought that really stood out because Mike Vrabel criticized Kristian Fulton as a repeat offender at the end of last year. Now coming in, saying that he was being a little lackadaisical at times and they expect more from him. And looks like Fulton's delivering. And quite frankly, he needs to. The Titans need him to deliver. And at the end of the day, Fulton is in a contract year. And we know when guys are in a contract year, they tend to stay healthy and play their best. So it could be a mutual win-win here for the Titans and Fulton if he produces this season. But Fulton wasn't the only player that got revenge. Malik Willis got some revenge. Now listen, Malik Willis, everyone's been raving about him, raving about the improvement. It maybe is a touch overstated how drastic the improvement is, but still very worthy of praise. But Malik Willis did throw an interception in this practice. It was Rashad Weaver who faked the blitz, not blitz, but faked the rush, dropped back into coverage. Malik didn't see him. Malik threw it over the middle to tight end Elise Mack, and Rashad Weaver was able to get the interception. The defense went nuts. Everybody was hyped. The very next play, Malik Willis, 75-yard bomb to Chris Moore for a touchdown. Offense went nuts. So Malik Obviously, you don't want to see the interception, but things do happen, and for him to bounce back immediately and throw a bomb and have that aggressiveness still, not shying away from the next play, that's what the Titans want to see. So a great bounce back from Malik. He's got to bounce back from adversity after that rookie season that he had. It's going to be a necessary thing for him moving forward. But revenge from Fulton on Hopkins from Friday, revenge from Malik from the interception that Rashad Weaver got on him. Awesome stuff. But I want to talk about a couple more elements that we need to discuss from Saturday's practice. The defense overall having a fantastic day, and an undrafted free agent wide receiver who is showing out in practice right now. We're going to talk about all of that in just a moment. Before we get into it, do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you by eBay Motors. Our partners at eBay Motors have teamed up with Locked On Fantasy Football host Vinny Iyer to bring you some of the best fantasy picks each week all season long. Whether you're prepping for a draft or scouting the waiver wire, every week we're going to provide you with players that are guaranteed to fit on your roster. So with draft prep underway for the upcoming season, let's see who Vinny has picked out for us on this week's eBay's Guaranteed Fit Fantasy Picks of the Week. When the top tier quarterbacks are off the board in fantasy football drafts in 2023, there's another line of luxury passers and runners who are guaranteed to fit your starting lineups every week. One of them is Bears' Justin Fields, who started rolling out of the garage last season and is bound to jump into the fast lane this year. This time, on top of his huge rushing total, Fields can deliver improved stats in the air with DJ Moore now leading Chicago's wide receiver group. Vinny Iyer from Locked On Fantasy Football is going to help you win your fantasy championship. And eBay Motors knows a championship team is all about a player being a perfect fit, because it's the same with your vehicle. With eBay Guaranteed Fit and over 122 million parts and accessories for your vehicle, you can make sure that your ride stays running smoothly. Air filters, brakes, batteries, tail lights, alternators, shocks, struts, you name it, eBay Motors has it, and they'll make sure it's the right fit for your car, because eBay Guaranteed Fit helps you understand exactly what part you need for your vehicle the first time. So go forth, switch gears, crank the AC, and say goodbye to sweating if your ride needs a little fixing up, because now you know that you'll be always set up for success from the get-go with eBay Guaranteed Fit. Everything your vehicle needs is just a click away. For the parts and accessories that fit your vehicle, just look for the green check. Get the right parts, the right fit, and the right prices at ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. Titans fans, let's continue our bonus edition of the Locked On Titans podcast, breaking down Tennessee Titans training camp on Saturday. We talked about the revenge factor at practice with Kristian Fulton getting some get back against DeAndre Hopkins. We talked about Malik Willis getting some get back after the interception with a deep pass. But now I want to talk about the rest of the things that stood out, I guess, during Titans practice on Saturday. And number one, we just have to talk about the overall performance of the defense. The Titans defense clearly won the day on Saturday. We talked about Malik having that big touchdown throw, but success like that for the Titans offense was few and far between. They did make some completions. They did make some plays, but overall, the Titans defense definitely won the day and was the dominant side of the ball. And it's funny because Jim Wyatt from TennesseeTitans.com put in his observations that Kevin Byard walked past him and told him to make sure that he got it right, and told the world that the Titans defense won the day, because they did. And the Titans pass rush the last 2 days, whether it be Jeffrey Simmons, whether it be Arden Key, whether it be Harold Landry, whether it be Rashad Weaver, all of these guys, we're hearing all the reports and seeing all the plays that they're making, and they're just constantly in the backfield. Now, you could take that as a hit on the Titans offensive line, which obviously on yesterday's show I expressed some concern with that, and it's fair to have that concern. But at the end of the day, we do got to mention the offensive line doesn't have pads on, and that's where they're going to win. They're going to win with their physicality. They want to get hands on guys. They want to be able to use the pads. And the offensive line clearly at a disadvantage when they don't have the pads and you're not going 100% full physical. It's more, in space, making moves against each other, stuff like that. But The pads are coming on next week, and it'll be interesting to see what the reports are then. But right now, the Titans pass rush is just constantly making plays. The Titans offense is having to continue to run their, you're not going to stop the play when there's a sack because the offense still needs the reps. They need the throws. They need the looks. The coverage guys need to have that practice as well. So the Titans are just getting a lot of sacks, making a lot of plays, and the Titans offense is just going to have to continue on. Will Levis, even on a play on Saturday, got sacked twice, basically, is what the report is. And the Titans did just blow the play dead because it's too unrealistic to keep the play going at this point with the pressure that was on Will Levis. So we'll see if that improves. I expect the Titans to have one of the top 5 defensive lines in the entire NFL. So maybe this is just par for the course, quite honestly, because I think the Titans defensive line is just going to be outrageous this year, quite honestly. But we're not going to really know whether the Titans offensive line is just bad or whether this defensive line is just that good until into the preseason when we see them go against other teams. I mean, that's the only way to find that out. But overall, great day for the defense. That's the point in general. Outside of that, though, Will Levis, strangely enough, with the Malik Willis hype, the DeAndre Hopkins stuff, the offensive tackle stuff, the general hubbub of training camp, Will Levis has become somewhat of a forgotten man. You know, that's a highly drafted rookie quarterback. It's pretty surprising that most of the attention, most of the storylines, most of the conversation has been more about Malik Willis and other things, like I just said. For your rookie, highly drafted quarterback to kind of fall behind in the headlines and what people are discussing, that's interesting. That's probably the best thing for Will Levis at this time. But I did just want to bring up here that according to Jim Wyatt, Will Levis was 6 for 8 on the day. He said he's looked more comfortable in camp than he did during the offseason. I've noticed more positive plays from him the last few days, and now have him 17 of 23 in 7-on-7 and team periods combined so far in camp. Everyone likes to talk Malik. I led with Malik, so this is me included. But we could just wake up one day and be like, man, is Levis playing okay? Is Levis playing okay? And again, the preseason is really where we're going to start to draw some real conclusions, seeing these guys actually play against other teams. But it's just one of those things where I've kind of held, I think the Titans will roster Malik Willis. I've changed my tune on that from that he'll be cut to that he'll make the roster, because why not? I mean, why not? Just keep him around for another year of development. Why not? But I still hold that I think Will Levis ends up quarterback 2 in that position battle. So just quietly going along. The last thing that I want to talk about with you guys is about undrafted wide receiver Treshawn Harrison. So Harrison's been showing up a lot in camp. He beat Kevin Byard pretty handily in a one-on-one battle early in practice. He's made some catches here recently. He's been showing out. Crafty route runner, making some plays with the ball in his hands. I know there's no pads and everything, but just looks smooth out there. Treshawn Harrison. We talked Colton Dow, Racy McMath, all that. Let's just keep our eye on him moving forward, okay? Well, that though is going to do it for me. I mean, this is going to be 12 straight days of free daily Tennessee Titans content, breaking down practice, diving into the details, catching you guys up on everything that you need to know. You're not going to get this anywhere else. There's nobody else doing what I'm doing right now with the Titans, period. So make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the notification bell so you know when I go live every single day. It's about 6 p.m. Eastern time every single day with training camp on. The Titans don't practice open to the media on Saturday next week. There's no practice on Sunday either, but I'll have a bonus episode for you on Friday night breaking down extra practice. So 6 more, that's going to be 13 straight podcasts in a row that I'm in the midst of right now. Free for you guys every day. All right? So throw a thumbs up on the video. Get subscribed. Stay subscribed. Thank you guys all so much. But with that being said, I'm going to go back and enjoy the rest of my Saturday. I hope all of you guys do as well. That is going to do it for me today, folks. As always, I am your host, Tyler Rowland, and this was Locked On Titans.